Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my Facebook Live, Creating Cards with Debbie. I'm glad you're able to join me this evening. Let me go ahead and bring on my iPad so I can watch comments. And be sure when you come on that you comment so I know that you're here. I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get on board here. Let me get myself organized a little bit while we're waiting. Hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, be sure you comment and say hello when you come on. Okay, Brenda, hi. Glad you're here. My iPad video keeps popping in and out, but it's been doing that for the last few weeks. I think it's a Facebook thing. So if you have any problems with my video, please make sure you let me know so we can maybe fix it or deal with it, whichever. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be doing cards using the Sale-a-bration items this evening. Well, let me go ahead and turn you around so we can maybe get started so it doesn't get to be too late and everybody can catch up when they get here. So if you get dizzy, close your eyes while I turn this around. I'm hoping we don't have too many difficulties this evening. It seems like that's the norm anymore. Okay. And I'll get our lighting over here too. Let me straighten this out a bit. We're a little crooked. And I think I'm going to zoom just a little bit. Alright, I'm trying to see which way I need to go. Maybe this way a little bit. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me just get my lighting in over here. And we'll turn some more lights on back here. And the sun's going to be going down here a little bit, so I'm trying to adjust my lighting a little bit. It won't be long and we'll have even shorter days. It'll be dark at 5 o'clock in the evening. Okay. Let me get my comments coming up here. Be sure you comment and say hello. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in here. As you can see, I'm Creating Cards with Debbie is the name of my Facebook page. And you can shop my store for any items that we're showing this evening or any Stampin' Up! Products that you might need for your paper crafting needs, which will be www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And our host code for September is, I'm going to put that out here, and I have lost it. It's in our description of our video right here. I don't know where I did with it. Actually, I wrote it down, but I don't think I wrote it down. But you can see it in the description of the video. So, and if you have any questions later, you can private message me and I'll be glad to get it to you. Okay, and if you need to email me, you can email me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And my blog address, you can go there to get all the instructions on all the cards that we do. And that is www.creatingwithdebbie179.blogspot.com. And if you'd like to join Paper Pumpkin, sign up for Paper Pumpkin. Here's the website for that. I think you can see it on the camera okay. And like I said, if you have any questions later, just be sure that you private message me or email me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions or concerns you may have. Alright, so Paper Pumpkin is called Peaceful Christmas, is our Paper Pumpkin for October. And you can sign up for that until October 10th. It says, picture a peaceful Christmas with the Peaceful Christmas Paper Pumpkin Kit with shimmering silver snow, heartwarming holiday wishes, and seasonal shades of ravishing red and gorgeous green. You'll be supplied with what you need to whip up a sparkling winter scene. Brew a cup of cocoa, snuggle up with a soft blanket, and prepare for a cozy craft night in. And the kit includes enough elements to create 10 Christmas cards. It's 5 each of 2 designs and coordinating envelopes. This all-inclusive kit includes printed card bases, die-cut paper pieces, embellishments, adhesive, and more. October kit arrives in a cute collectible box covered with enchanting evergreen trees. Use this special limited edition box to store your holiday handicrafts or transform it into a well-wrapped package for a present. The kit's contents pairs perfectly with the Peaceful Place Suite collection, and that's in our, I believe it's in the mini catalog, yeah. To continue Christmas crafting, combine the kit's components with the suite's patterned paper, shimmery sequins, and more. And the card sizes are 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And the envelopes are 4 1/2 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And the coordinating colors are basic gray, real red, shaded spruce, and silver foil. Alright. And during Sale-a-bration, which is still going on until just a few more days, it's only going to be here until September 30th. So be sure that you order any supplies that you want, so you'll get your free items. With every $50 you can receive a free item of your choice out of the Sale-a-bration catalog. And also, Stampin' Up! Is doing a special promotion for joining my team, where you get your starter kit for $99, and that includes your shipping. And on top of that, you pick out $125 worth of product for the $99. And then besides that, Sale-a-bration has already added a bundle of your choice that you can pick out of these 12 different bundles, and that's on page 19 of your Sale-a-bration catalog. And the highest priced one is would be $60.25, which is the Christmas to Remember bundle. And there's 12 different bundles here. So if you add that $60.25 to that $125, and plus you'll get a free Paper Pumpkin along with that, so that's a cost of $22. So all that product and everything, you're getting about $207 worth of products, and you're only paying $99 for it. So what a bargain that is. And of course, like I said, if you have any questions, be sure that you private message me or email me, and I'll be glad to help you with that, with any questions or signing up even. So I'd love to have you on my team. So we've got the mini catalog. July to December is still going on. That's until December 30th, 30 days in September or December. Well, actually it runs until January 3rd, so we've got a few months left on that. So I'm glad of that, because There's a lot there I haven't worked with yet. But tonight we're going to work with items that come out of the Sale-a-bration. And I want to just share with you some of the items that are no longer available. The Bedazzling 6x6 specialty paper is sold out. And also the sheep dies, which are right here on page 11. That coordinates with the counting sheep stamp set. The dies are sold out, but the stamp set is still available. So everything is while supplies last, and we're in the countdown right now, so a lot of things are selling out. So if there's anything in there that you're really wanting to get, be sure that you put your order in ASAP. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be doing all items using Sale-a-bration items. And this one is, our first card is going to be, it feels like home. And that is on page, let me get to that real quick. I want to kind of go along and show you where everything is so you'll be able to find everything. Okay, that's on page 6. And it's showing some samples of things that you can do with it. But there's lots of things. If you search the Pinterest and all those, you can come up with a lot of ideas out there. So this is the stamp set. Feels like home. And here's our card that we're going to be making. It says, your friendship feels like home to me. And I love the sentiments that are with that. And on the inside, I've got missing you, and then this little cute flower pot at the bottom corner. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. I've got my bits and pieces all right here. And the paper that we're using comes from the Penguin Playmates, and that's another one of the Sale-a-bration items that's free with a $50 order. These are really cute. I love those. I hate that they're going to be leaving us very soon. But we're using this paper right here. It's on the back side of the snowman and the penguins, the box. So let me get all my bits and pieces out here, and I'm hoping I'm not doing too much rumbling with the paper. I pretty well cut everything out already tonight, so we should just move right along here where we're not going to take a long time. Because I wanted to show some more sample cards at the end if we have time. So I've got my instructions on the back of the card. Let me get them over here. Alright, our card base is using the cardstock, which is the Misty Moonlight, and that measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then it's scored or folded in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. And we're just going to burnish that edge really good. And the Designer Series paper measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And we're just going to set that aside. Well, we can go ahead and let's glue it to the front of our card base. And I even got a new bottle of glue that I started, so we shouldn't have to be shaking our glue down all the time. So, my luck, it'll probably come out too fast, though. Okay. And we're going to glue that. I think I'll turn my card over. This side looks better. And we're just going to leave a tiny edge going all the way around there. And scoot this over a little bit. There we go. And of course, the first thing I do is get glue all on my fingers. So let me rub that off a little bit. Alright, so we're going to set that aside for now, and we're going to bring in our, this is our inside of our cards. We're going to set that aside for a moment too. I've got a Misty Moonlight mat here, and that's 4 inches by 3 1/8 inches by 3 5/8 inches. So we're going to set that aside too. We're going to do some stamping on our basic white cardstock. And that measures 4 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches. And we're going to bring our stamp over here. And we're going to do just a little bit of coloring on here. But I'm not going to color the whole image at all. So, and I've seen others that just left it the stamped image and then they just kind of did a splatter over it. And that's really pretty too, without doing any coloring or anything. So you can do more or you can do less. It's whichever you prefer. So I'm going to stamp that right in the center of our basic white. I'm going to give that a moment to let the inks absorb. All right. And the blends that I'm using Ivory, Light and Dark Crumb Cakes, and then Light and Dark Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to put my lid on my ink pad before I stick my arm in it. Okay, so we're going to start coloring our door. And I'm going to go with a Light and Dark Misty Moonlight. And I always start out with the dark first, and then I blend with the light. And I'm going to put a scrap paper underneath here in case it bleeds through a little bit to keep my work surface clean. And we're just going to kind of outline with the dark. And I'm not going to color the flowers at all. We're going to leave those. So, get my eyes to focus here. And do the window panes. And the door panels. And even when you're doing this, you don't have to worry about it being exactly straight, because when you're blending, it's going to not show anyway, so that's a good thing. Alright, and then I'm going to outline the door frame. Let me turn this way. Alright, I think that's all. Oops. Do around the edges of the window. Okay, now we're going to come in with our light, Misty Moonlight. And we're going to do some shading, some blending. And if you wanted to do the flowers, you could, but I just as soon just let them be, because I don't know, I kind of like them left plain. But then another time I may come in here and I may decide to color them, so it just all depends on what you want to do. It's hard to believe that Sale-a-bration's already coming to an end. I think that's probably my favorite time of the year, because who doesn't like to get free products? I sure do. You probably hear Cookie clinking on the floor here. She was sitting here for a moment, now she's going to leave me, I guess. She says, Mom, Facebook Live is boring, I'm out of here. Okay, and a little bit right in between the tire spokes there. Alright, I think I got all the door. And like I said before, with your blends, you want to make sure when you put the cap on that you hear that click, because otherwise your blends will dry out. They are alcohol based. So if it's not put on tight, they can dry up on you. Okay. Yeah. So I used the ivory for our wall. And the ivory only has the one shade. It doesn't come with a light and dark like the others do. So it's just the one shade. And I'm just going to kind of scribble all around the whole thing, around the bicycle and flowers. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just giving a little color to the wall. Be sure you like and share the video. And tell your friends about this too, so they may want to join. Stampin' Up! Is not only card making, but it also has things to make other paper crafts, and also for any of our scrapbookers out there to be able to get their supplies. One little spot out there, I think. Fill that in. Alright, that's good. I don't want a lot done. And then we're going to use the crumb cake, the dark, to outline our baskets. And then come back in with the light and fill them in. So just kind of give them a little shading. And same with these over here. And then come back in with the light crumb cake and blend that in. And I will be posting this to YouTube tomorrow, which would be Wednesday. And if you're watching me on YouTube, be sure that you hit that subscribe button. And also like and share the video on there also, if you would. Okay, so, oops, I need to come back in here and get a little bit of the door frame in between the tires of the spokes of the tire. Alright. And just a hair more right there. Okay. Alright, now we've got it. So that's all I'm going to do for coloring. So let's stamp our sentiment, which is "Your friendship feels like home." And we're going to use the black memento ink to do that with. And I'm going to stamp it in the upper right hand corner. Alright. And let's go ahead and do our stamping on the inside of our card also while we got our ink pad out. Just set that over there. And the inside measures 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. No, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp the stamp. We're going to use Missing You. And then we're going to stamp a little flower pot at the bottom. Alright. Okay. And then we've got a piece of the Designer Series paper, just a little strip that measures, I believe it's a 1/2 inch. Yes, a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And we're going to put that along the left-hand side. I've been kind of in a ho-hum mood today, kind of tired for some reason, just don't have no oomph or energy to do anything. I guess we all have those days. And I'm going to grab my old scissors here and trim that off because I've got some glue on that. I don't want on my good scissors. Okay, and that's going to glue to the inside of our card. And we're going to leave a small border going around it. Has anybody got any big plans for the week, rest of the week? Hopefully you can get some card making in there. Alright. And I'm going to take our crumb cake. Again, I'm going to do just the flower pot on that. So I'm going to use the dark to start with to do a little shading. And maybe some at the bottom. And come back in with a light crumb cake. I like that flower pot, it's cute. And if you wanted to, you could color the flowers and the leaves, but I'm just going to leave that too. Alright. So let's glue these together, the matte and the stamped image. And we're just going to leave a small border going around the whole thing. Let's kind of scooch it. Yeah, I think it's already sticking on me. Yeah, it's already stuck down. I'm going to leave it as is. And then I've got some of our twine, which comes from the Flowers for Every Season. And it's got this blue with the silver mixed in with it. And then it's got this gingham. So that's a combo pack of ribbon. And that's the item number is 153620. So we're just going to grab our twine, our trim, and I want to leave a little extra so I can tie a bow afterwards. So I'm going to wrap that around twice, and we're going to tie that. And I'm going to tie it in a knot so I'm able to tie a bow without it moving. And I want to scooch these down just a little bit towards the lower portion. Alright. And then we're going to try making a bow on camera here. It's usually all thumbs when I try to do that, but maybe we'll be in luck today. So far so good. Okay, yeah. And then we're going to trim those off using our paper snips or your ribbon scissors. And now we're going to glue that to the front of our card. And we're going to place that in the center, so we're going to have a pretty good size border going around the whole thing. Okay. And then for the gems that we're using, it's going to be the Elegant Faceted Gems. And this is item number 152464. And you can find these in the annual catalog. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool to remove some of those. I'm going to use the small clear ones. And we're just going to place 3 of those on our card front. I like to do odd numbers, so usually I use 3s. And maybe one down here. Okay, so there we have our first card. And if you wanted to, you could put some Wink Stella on there also, maybe on the door or something. So here we have it. Missing You. So that's our first card. And our second card is this one right here. It's going to be a Christmas one, but it's using the Christmas paper that's free, which is on page 8, and it's called Peaceful Prints, the 12 by 12 designer series paper, and these are double back, 2-sided. So some are Christmassy, but other ones you could use any time of the year. And here's some samples, but our Deer Punch is on back order right now, so that's not available right now. But it should be coming back in stock here fairly soon. But here's the card. It says Merry Christmas, and on the inside it says wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. So we're going to do something different with the paper. Get my bits and pieces out here. And this is a better picture of the paper. The Peaceful Prints. And like I said, it's the free Sale-a-bration right now. For a couple more days. Alright. Be sure you say hello when you come on. I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Okay, hi Jackie, hi Brenda, and Jack is on here. Glad you could all be here. It's lonely when I don't have nobody to talk to, so be sure to comment or whatever, so we have a little conversation going on. I won't feel so all alone. Okay, so our card base is going to be, we're using the Poppy Parade, and that's just our basic card size. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. Or you could just fold it if you'd like, without scoring. And we're burnishing that. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And this is for our inside. I'm going to set those aside. We'll get back to those in a moment. But here's the designer series paper that we're using. It's like a gingham. And it's got the deer on the other side and the crumb cake. But we're going to be doing something different with this. We're going to spruce it up a little bit. And I'm going to get my scrap paper that I had. Is that the one I was using? Yeah. And we're going to take a ruler, and we're just going to add some Poppy Parade lines to this to kind of dress it up a little bit. So I'm going to, in the centers where the white portion is, we're going to draw lines on each one of those. So we're going to start with one, and then we're going to slide it and go to the next. I hope my head's not in the camera. You'll get to see all that gray hair on my head. Okay, and we're just going to keep moving until we get them all covered. And then we're going to turn it and go the other direction, doing the same thing. And I forgot to show you the stamp set. I'll do that when I finish this. And it doesn't matter if you're not precise on your spacing, so it's all going to come out good in the end. And one there, another one up here. Now we're going to turn it, and we're going to go the other direction. So we'll be crisscrossing over all those. And I hear the neighbor's dogs out there barking again. I'm not sure if the camera's picking the sound up or not. It's not ours. Okay, we're almost done with this. This is like watching paint dry, watching me do this. Okay. And thinking I might put one more up here. Yeah, okay. Click that. Okay, so it looks like this. It's kind of an added appeal to it. Alright, and now we've got our sentiment. We better show you the stamp set first. We're using the Peaceful Deer stamp set. And we're using the gold and rose gold 6x6 specialty or metallic specialty paper. We're using 1 sentiment out of the Whimsical Trees. And we're using the Christmas tree dies. This is a large pack of dies. It's got, I don't have my thing here. It's got 2 sheets of dies. So it's got a total of 13 dies. That's a lot of dies. But we use this die to cut out our tree, which is right here. And then we've cut out some Christmas bulbs out of the metallic paper. Get my little bits and pieces out here, and hopefully I don't lose anything. Okay, so I've already die cut those, but I haven't punched them out of the dies yet, and I kind of left them in place. I didn't lose them. Alright, so let's start assembling here and stamping and get the show on the road. And the trim that we're using is the Simply Elegant trim, which is a gold and a silver trim. We're using the gold. Alright, set that aside. So here's our sentiment, is the Merry Christmas. And I need to get my piercing mat to stamp on. We're going to use, I don't have my stamp pad out here. I use the crumb cake ink to do our stamping with. And I'm just going to stamp Merry Christmas all along the left-hand side, just leaving a space in between and kind of moving it over a bit, maybe like 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and then the other one close to the edge. And just, I keep doing that all the way down. And you can find this card also in the catalog. I'm kind of casing the catalog on this one, so let me see if I can find it and show it to you. Okay, Peaceful Deer, Peaceful Deer. It's on page 26 of the mini catalog. Yes, right here. So I'm casing the card. Oops. Well, I seen it somewhere. Where did I see it? I seen it somewhere. Maybe it was on Pinterest. I was thinking I cased it out of here, but I guess it might have been on Pinterest. Well, it might have been in Sale-a-bration. It might be with the paper. Let me look real quick here. I know I've seen it somewhere in some catalog. Yeah, okay, it is. It's in the Sale-a-bration catalog. It's here on page 9. And alright, so we have the Merry Christmas all stamped down the edge. Cookie hears those dogs next door barking, so now, of course, she wants to bark. Okay, and the designer series paper is out of that. And I'm using this one right here. And that's going to be our edge. Well, it's going to be like a little mat going across. And that measures, I didn't put the measurement down. It's 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches. And we're just going to glue that to the edge of our card. But first we're going to go ahead and attach this all to the front of our card front. And get that done. Oopsie. And we're just going to leave a border going all around it. It's going to be a little bit bigger border than what we normally do. I think it's like 1/4 inch probably all the way around. And now we're going to take that 1 inch strip and we're going to bring that over the edge of our designer series paper. Just coming off the edge a little bit. And not quite centered. We're going to have it just a little bit below center. And get that straight. And then we've got our tree. We're going to put a little bit of glue on the back side of that. And this was punched out of the basic white cardstock using that tree die. Yeah. My lighting isn't real good. I can't see if it's coming out of the bottle without squirting all over. My video keeps popping off and on my iPad. I'm hoping it's good for everybody else and it's not messing up on you. So we're going to stick that to our left side over that designer series paper there, that green strip. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. You hear the frogs? Dogs. That's funny. Alright, so we made a little bow with using our twine trim. So we're going to use a glue dot. We're going to fasten that to our front of our tree. And I'm just going to take one of our glue dots and I'm going to kind of roll it in a little ball. And then we're going to place that on our tree. And add our bow to the top of that. Okay, so we got that done. So now we can come in and get our ornaments. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to do that. I dropped it on the floor there for a minute. We're going to poke those out. Well, that one's hanging on. Okay, we're going to set that aside. And we're going to put some drops of glue. And it might be coming out a little bit too fast here. But that's okay, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and place those and see where I want to put the others. So I'm going to take your pick tool to pick them up with. And kind of move them where I want them to be. And I've got plenty of glue there, but it dries clear, so it won't show after it's dried. And get these to turn over so I can get a hold of them. The Take Your Pick tool has one end that has putty on it, so you can pick up things with it, like your gems and rhinestones and all that. Makes it handy when you're kind of fumbling with your fingers that don't work right. Okay, we've got a couple more to decide where we want to put them. Maybe one there. And maybe one there. Okay, I thought I had a star. Did it stick in the paper here? No. There it is. I'm going to put a star at the top of our tree. So here's our little star. And there's a die that cuts those out too, so very cute. Okay, so here we have it so far. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment using our crumb cake. Merry Christmas. It won't be long and it'll be here. Okay. And I'm hoping that's straight. Not bad. Close enough for me. Alright. And get my snips here. And we're going to trim that down a little bit. And I'm going to wait before I glue that down because we're going to place our deer first. And I've already stamped and cut out the deer already, but we do need to use our blends on him. So I'm using the light and dark crumb cake also on him. And our scrap paper over here. So I'm going to start out with the dark crumb cake. And do some shadowing. And fill in the rest with the light crumb cake. And I'm going to leave his belly white because their belly underneath is usually white, so I'm just going to leave that white. I'm not going to color it in. And just kind of blend that in a little bit. And I'm going to draw a line to separate the bottom and the top. There's belly, fur belly. Deer season's coming up here pretty soon too. We have quite a few deer in our yard, you see, occasionally. Okay, so we've got that all colored in. And we're going to place her up on dimensionals. And I'm going to finish off my sheet here. Because you never want to throw your edges away because they work very good. Waste not, want not, I say. All right. If anybody has any suggestions of what cards they might want me to do next week, be sure you let me know. I'm always open to new ideas. I'm thinking probably I'm going to do something Halloween next week, being that's coming up the end of October already. And other than that, I'm not really certain what else I have in mind. Alright, so we're going to place her down over this little strip of green. And sentiment is going to go next to her. And I'm just going to trim it down some. You don't need all that. And I'm going to place that up on dimensionals. And I have a little strip here I'm going to use for that. I didn't mean to use the whole thing and I pulled it off. Okay. Now I can take the backing off. Oh, reindeer ears. No, I'm not putting any antlers on her. I could, but I'm not tonight. And we're going to place that at the bottom, just above the designer series paper. Okay, there we have that. And now we're going to work on the inside of our card. And we have another strip of that paper, which is 1 inch by 4 inches, and that's going to go along the left-hand side of our inside of our card. What were you barking at, Cookie? And I'm going to attach that. Just leave a little bitty white showing on the left side. And it seems like it's crooked. There. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. And we're going to use Shaded Spruce as our color of ink for the inside. And wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. Alright, I forgot to dig out the trees that I wanted. Right here. Okay, we're going to put 3 trees. And then stamp them again, which is called second generation stamping when you stamp it off again without re-inking. Alright, now we're going to glue that to the inside of our card. We're doing pretty good at the time. My third card is using the sheep, and it won't take very long, I don't think. It comes together fairly fast. So I hope you can stay. If not, just catch the replay. Alright, so there's the outside of the card. Merry Christmas. Wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. Alright. Move some things out of the way here. Okay. Okay, our next one is the sheep. I don't need this anymore. And it says, "You're amazing." And we're going to make our own designer series paper, which is very easy to do. We're just going to stamp a bunch of sheep. So it says, "You're amazing. So glad it's your birthday." Okay, and my supplies over here. And I've already die cut our things that we need for this. That's going to save some time. And here's the stamp set that we're using. We didn't use the dies, sheep dies, but I did use the scallop contour dies and the stitch rectangles dies. So I've already got those mounted already. And our card base is our basic black cardstock. And this one opens the long way. It measures 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're just going to burnish that edge. There's my bone folder out here. I started out my desk fairly clean, but it don't take me long to clutter it back up again. Okay. And we've got two pieces of basic white cardstock, and they both measure the same measurement. They're 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. One's going to be our inside and one's going to be our outside. So we're going to start with the outside one. We're going to start stamping our sheep all over the place. So I'm going to bring in that scrap paper again. Do a clean one this time. And I'm just using black Memento ink. And that's going to start stamping our sheep all over the place here. And I think I'm going to start with the one that looks like he's jumping over the fence or whichever. And I'm going to put him up in the upper left-hand corner. And we'll put him again down here at the bottom. And we'll set him aside for a moment, and we're going to get our other sheep. And I think this little sheep has the sweetest little face. I don't know, I just love that face that she has. She just looks so sweet. And we're going to stamp her in the upper right hand corner. And then again at the bottom corner. And then we're going to come in with this little dancing one. He looks like he's dancing anyway. And we're going to stamp him in the middle. And that's all there is to it. That's our designer series paper that we've made. And we'll be coming back in at that in a moment. So we've got our card base. And we've got this. And we've got some gingham ribbon, which comes from our new one that's in our mini catalog is called black and white gingham ribbon. And we're just going to wrap that around the edge, and I'm going to just use some Scotch tape here to attach that to the back. I probably got more than I need. And we're just going to put it in the center. And make sure it's straight on the other side. Oops, let me come down a little bit. Okay. And now we can go ahead and attach that to our card front. And I've got a glue goober here. And make sure I've got my card the right way. And we're going to center that on our card front. With the liquid glue, you've got some time to move it around if you need to, so before it attaches permanently. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. And bring in our frames here that we've already done. We've got our basic white that we've used the Stitch So Sweetly, or no, it's our stitched rectangles. And it leaves like a little dot going around. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And the other one comes from the Scallop Contours dies. And we're just going to stamp our little sheep on this little one, on the white one. And we're using the black Memento ink. And we're going to stamp the sentiment first, which is "You're amazing." And we're going to stamp that in the bottom corner. Just like that. And then we're going to stamp the sheep right above that. Okay. Set that aside. We're going to attach this to the black scalloped. And I'm going to leave a little border going around. It fits perfectly inside of that. Let me put my die over here so I don't lose it. And then we're going to put that up on dimensionals. And I'm going to use our black dimensionals for this. Put one in the middle and one in each corner. With the black dimensionals, you get the large and the small. All comes in the same packaging. So you have both sides as the small and the larger one. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to pop those off. Alright. And then we're going to place that over our card. And I'm going to kind of put it to the left side, to the right side, I mean, because I want to leave enough room on the other side for our bow. And, okay, and I've already tied a little bow using that black and white gingham again. And we're going to use a glue dot to put that down with. I think I'm going to put 2 down there to make sure it's on there real good. Alright, and I probably should have rolled it to get it up underneath there. But you can take some powder and dab on there, and that'll take the tackiness away if you're worried about that. Okay, and then we've got our black matte dots, or matte black dots. And these are item number 154284, and that's in our annual catalog also. And like I said, the sheep is in the Sale-a-bration too, so the stamp set is still available, but the dies have sold out, so you want to get your order in as soon as possible if that's what you're wanting. Okay, and here, and I think I'll put another one right here. So that's the outside of our card. It's real simple. And we're going to stamp the inside with our other piece of basic white, which was 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to stamp the dancing sheep again, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment using the black memento ink. And so we're going to stamp this little guy at the bottom corner. And the sentiment, which is so glad it's your birthday. Alright. And we're going to glue that to the inside of our card. Got that one a little bit low to the bottom of our card, but that's okay. I kind of like that too. But there we go. That's our third card. So I want to go ahead and show our cards, and then I'm going to show you some other cards that I had from some Sale-a-bration items. So you can kind of get some ideas of what you might be missing out on. Or what you already have and don't know what to do with. So here's our 3 cards. Let me make sure that they're in the camera view. Yeah, it looks good. So I hope you enjoyed the cards. Let me set those aside, and I'm going to show you some samples here. This is one of those tower cards, and I hadn't finished it, but I used the sheep stamp set to make it with, and it kind of turns. So when you push on it, it turns. But I still have to finish it. I didn't put any embellishments on it yet. So I just wanted to let you see what you can do with the sheep. It's not just okay. And then the textures and frames is another Sale-a-bration stamp set that you can get free. And when I first seen that, I didn't really have any idea that it was something that I wanted. But I've seen different people working with it, and then I've fallen in love with it. So here's using the solid circles and then the outline circle. And I've done that in, what is this? Fresh Freesia is the ink color, and then the polished pink is the pink color. And we also have the ribbon that matches that. And it says, "It's your day, enjoy it," and then wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And that stamp set is from Happiest of Birthdays stamp set, which is in our annual catalog. But here's some more ideas for these little stripes here. I made those be birthday candles, and the little splotches are the flames of the candles. And then the happy birthday comes from the biggest wish. So that's another idea that you can do with that stamp set, the textures and frames. And so just a few samples of what you can do with them. And there's lots of samples on Pinterest too that you can find all kinds of ideas. I know I have some other things that I could have showed, but I didn't get time to take anything out to show any others tonight. So I want to thank you for being here this evening, and I hope you enjoyed what I had for you. And be sure that if you have any questions that you email me or private message me, and I'll be glad to answer any concerns or questions that you might have. So Facebook Live next week is going to be, it's on Tuesday the 5th, but I have a team meeting that night, so I'm going to have to change my Facebook Live to that Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, which would be October 7th at 6 o'clock. So I hope you all be able to join me then. And if you have any suggestions of what kind of cards you want me to make, just be sure you let me know, and I'll see what I can come up with. I'm always open to any suggestions. So I'm going to let you go for this evening. Y'all have a safe week, stay healthy, and hopefully you get some crafting time in. But that's all for tonight, so good night. Thank you for coming.